by Oscar Wilde. So hold on 1 second. Um, and I guess let's have Giulietta. Can you read the title and the first 2 paragraphs?
The Happy Prince, Oscar Wilde. High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was gilded all over, with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes he had 2 bright sapphires, and a large red ruby on his sword hilt. He was very much admired indeed. He is as beautiful as a weathercock, remarked one of the town councillors, who wished to gain a reputation for having artistic taste. Only not quite so useful, he added, fearing lest people should think him unpractical, which he really was not.
Good. Sapphires.
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 Yeah, sapphires. Good. And Giulietta, do you know what a gilded weathercock is, or a weathercock is?
Gilded? I know gilded.
Okay, what's gilded?
Gilded is covered by gold.
Yep, and a weathercock is just like a weather vane. So if you've got like something that ports to the north, south, east, or west when the wind blows.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Anne?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So
and
it's not
sorry?
so beautiful, right?
No, it's not so beautiful. This is funny in a couple ways because the town councilor wanted to gain a reputation for having artistic taste, but he's like also afraid that people would think he's unpractical. So it's a goofy little. Yeah, this is just Oscar Wilde being funny. Any other questions? Okay, let's have Am. Can you read maybe the next part?
Why can't you be like the Happy Prince? Asked a sensible mother of her little boy who was crying for the moon. The Happy Prince never dreams of crying for anything. I am glad there is son of Ian in the world who is quite happy, muttered a disappointed man as he gazed at the wonderful statue. He looked just like an angel, said the charity children as they came out of the cathedral in their bright scarlet cloaks and their clean white pinafores. How do you know? Said the mathematical master. You have never seen one.
Nice. Can you repeat mathematical?
Mathematical?
Okay. A pinafore is like a apron. I have never heard this word before. But it's just like kind of like a apron or like a
Oh, okay.
some sort of like uniform. Okay. And any questions here?
Suppose you repeat the angel?
What was that, guys?
I am asking, I have to repeat angel?
Yeah, I guess angel was underlined. Angel?
Angel.
It sounded fine the second time you said it. Yeah, angel. Okay, and I feel like 1 o'clock is the time that everybody comes to the coffee shop. It was really quiet just recently. Anyways, Julieta, can you read the next part? Julieta, can you read this part?
Yes. Ha! But we have in our dreams, answered the children. And the mathematical master frowned and looked very severe, for he did not approve of children dreaming. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind, for he was in love with the most beautiful reed. He had met her early in the spring as he was flying down the river after a big yellow moth, and had been so attracted by her slender waist that he had stopped to talk to her.
Okay, good. So Egypt.
Egypt.
Flew.
Blue.
Yeah, I don't know how to write it. Okay, and a reed. Do you guys know what a reed is?
Mm, is it kind of an animal?
It's actually not even an animal. It is a plant. So a reed is it's like a tall piece of grass. Generally, they have like a big, like oval sort of like ball at the end. So they're long and tall, and they have like these like kind of brown things at the end. I don't really know how to say it. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Yeah.
Is it
So
something that is close to a river?
is it close to a what?
A river?
Yes, they grow in water, so they grow in the river. Yep. Um, yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Um, oh, sorry. Gosh. And let's have Am. Can you read the
Ah,
next two paragraphs?
Okay. Shall I love you, said the swallow, who liked to come to the point at once, and the reed made him a low bow. So he flew round and round her, touching the water with his wings, and making silver ripples. This was his courtship, and it lasted all through the summer. It is a ridiculous attachment to the other swallows. She had no money and far too many relations, and indeed the river was quite full of reeds. Then, when the autumn came, they all flew away.
Okay, good. So, shall I love you, said the swallow. The reed made him low bow. It's like the reed kind of like pepper in the wind. We've still got this bird who's in love with the reed. Any questions?
courtship.
A courtship is like when you're trying to date somebody. It's like when you like somebody, you like do things for them. You
Mhm.
take them to dinner. You buy them things. You try to get them to like you too. Yeah, make sense?
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay. And Julieta, can you read the next two paragraphs?
After they had gone, he felt lonely, and began to tire of his lady love. She has no conversation, he said, and I am afraid that she is a coquette, for she is
Nice.
always flirting with the wind. And certainly, whenever the wind blew, the red reed made the most graceful courtesies. I admit that she is domestic, he continued, but I love travelling, and my wife consequently should love travelling also. Will you come away with me? He said finally to her, but the reed shook her head. She was so attached to her home.
Okay. Attached. Attached.
Attached.
Um, and then my wife, consequently,
Consequently,
and curtsies.
curtsies.
Yeah. Okay. And does anybody have any questions in this part? A curtsy. Giulietta, do you know what a curtsy is?
Uh, like something that you do to 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 show that you are nice.
Yeah, it's the female version of a bow. So when you bow, that's kind of what a man does, and a curtsy is what a woman does with a dress. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Um, and Amp, can you read the next part? It's
You
kind
have,
of a long one.
oops.
All right, hold on. Son of a gun. Uh, okay. Ah, sorry. Hold on one second.
I'm lost now.
I know. I know. I know.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. So she was attached to her home. Let's go down here. I just hate this. I hate it. Okay. Can you read the next part?
You have been trifling with me, right? And off of the pyramids. Goodbye. And he flew away. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Where shall I put it? He said, I hope the town has made preparations. Then he saw the statue of the tall column. I will pop up there, he cried. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the happy prince. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself as he looked around, and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. Stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it's raining. The climate in the north of Europe is really dreadful. The reed used to like the rain, but that was merely her selfishness.
Good.
Selfishness.
Selfishness. Selfishness.
Selfishness.
That was good. I will put up here. I will put up here.
I will put up there.
Yeah, I'll put up there. What's put up mean?
I don't know.
Okay, so put up is like an old way of saying stay. So if you're gonna stay in a place or like sleep in a place, you put up there. So it's like you put up in a hotel or in a hostel. It's just a place to put up. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And the pyramids. Can you repeat pyramids?
The pyramids.
Good. Okay. Any other questions here?
Trifling,
Okay, trifling.
trifling.
You've been trifling with me. Do you know what that means, Em?
No, I don't remember. I've seen that word before, but
Okay, so to trifle, or let's look at a trifle. A trifle is something that is just like not worth very much. So something that is cheap, a trifle, a cheap thing, not worth a lot. To trifle is to treat something as though it were cheap. To mess around with something. Does that make sense?
yep.
Okay, good. And any other questions? Okay. Um, Julieta, can you read for a bit?
Then another drop fell. What is the use of a statue if it cannot keep the rain off? He said. I must look for a good chimney pot, and he determined to fly away. But before he had opened his wings, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw, ah! What did he see? The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow was filled with pity. "Who are you?" he said. "I am the happy prince." "Why are you weeping, then?" asked the swallow. "You have quite drenched me."
Good. You've quite drenched me. That was good. Questions here.
Drenched.
You've soaked me. You've gotten me very wet.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have to read? No.
Is it me?
I don't know.
Hmm.
It's like a frozen.
Ah, okay. Frozen. Okay.
He dropped.
Yeah.
Few students now.
Yeah, because I think people is cutting away. Cutting.
Hey, sorry.
Welcome back.
Um, yeah.
Mhm.
Hold on one sec. So drenched is to make wet or to soak. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And any other questions? Okay, so no other question. Um, let's have Amp. Can you read the next paragraph? Sorry, Amp.
You hear me?
Amp. Yeah. Can you read the next part?
Okay. When I was alive and had a human heart, answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I live in the palace of Sanssouci, where sorrow is not allowed to enter. In the daytime, I played with my companions in the garden, and in the evening, I led the dance in the great hall. Round the garden ran a very lofty wall, but I never cared to ask what lay beyond it. Everything about me was so beautiful. My courtiers called me the Happy Prince, and happy indeed I was, if pleasure would be happiness. So I lived, and so I died. And now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high that I can see all the ugliness and all the misery of my sin. I thought my heart is made of lead, yet I cannot choose but weep.
Okay. And though my heart is made of lead.
Lead, yeah,
Yeah. Um,
material, yeah,
the courtiers. The courtiers.
for the years.
Nice. Okay. And questions.
Courtiers is the members of the court.
Yeah. Courtiers are members of the court. Exactly. And can you drench biscuits? You can drench biscuits in, like, I don't know, in whatever you want to drench biscuits in. What do you want to drench biscuits in, Julieta?
Tea, milk.
Yeah, yeah, you could definitely do that. Um, yeah. And any other questions?
Lofty.
Lofty is like very high. So if something's lofty, it's just very high. So we described like mountain peaks is lofty, like the lofty peaks. Um, any other
Can I
questions?
say that I have a lofty high style?
You have a lofty what?
Lifestyle. Lifestyle.
Yeah, you could have a lofty like
Mm.
that. Yeah, definitely. Um, any other questions? Okay. Um, yeah, I think that was good. Let's have Julieta. Can you read the next bit?
What? Is he not solid gold? Said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remarks out loud. Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice, far away in a little street there is a poorhouse. One of the windows is open, and through it I can see a woman seated at a table. Her face is thin and worn, and she has coarse, red hands, all pricked by the needle, for she is a seamstress. She is embroidering passion flowers on a satin gown for the lowest of the Queen's maids of honor to wear at the next court ball. In a bed in the corner of the room her little boy is lying ill. He has a fever and he is asking for oranges. His mother has nothing to give him but river water, so he is crying, "Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword-hilt? My feet are fastened to this pedestal, and I cannot move."
My feet are fastened to this pedestal.
Pedestal. Okay, pedestal.
And then satin. Satin.
Satin.
Yeah, satin. It's one of those like
Satin.
almost silent T's, but yeah, satin. Satin.
Satin.
Yep. Good. Passion.
Passion.
Okay. And seated.
Seated.
Good. Okay. Any questions here? No questions?
Pricked.
Prick is like poked. So if you prick your finger with a needle, it's like the needle kind of like enters your finger, it enters the skin, but it doesn't go too far. It just like pokes at it. It pricks, I guess. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. What's a seamstress, Julieta?
Mm, um, is someone who makes dress.
Yeah, a seamstress is somebody who makes dresses. For sure. Good. And okay. And yeah, or like somebody who makes dresses, somebody who makes clothes, somebody who sews things is a seamstress. The seam is like the part of your clothes that are sewn. So if you're talking
They
about
are
like the
joined
seam of
together,
pants,
right?
sorry, that are joined together. Yeah, so where your clothes are joined together are the seams. All right. And any other questions? Okay. Am, can you read the next part?
I am waited for in Egypt, said the swallow. My friends are flying up and down the Nile and talking to the large lotus flowers. Soon they will go to sleep in the tomb of the great king. The king is there himself in his painted coffin. He's wrapped in yellow linen and embalmed with spices. Round his neck and is a chain of pale green head, and his hands are like withered leaves. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Will you not stay with me for one night and be my messenger? The boy is so thirsty and the mother so sad.
Okay. Let's look at Jade. Jade. The tomb.
The tomb,
The tomb.
the tomb,
Uh, okay. Embalmed.
embalm, no, silent
Embalmed.
the silent, no, embalmed,
Yeah, embalmed.
embalmed.
Good. That sounded good. Um, questions here, guys.
Withered.
Sorry, withered is like dried up. So if he has withered hands, they're like dried and shrunken. So,
Oh,
yeah, make sense?
yes, it was in another story.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, and Giulietta, can you read the next part?
I don't think I like boys, answered the swallow. Last summer, when I was staying on the river, there were two rude boys, the miller's sons, who were always throwing stones at me. They never hit me, of course. We swallows fly far too well for that, and besides I came to a family famous for its agility. But still, it was a mark of their disrespect. But the happy prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. "It is very cold here," he said, "but I will stay with you for one night and be your messenger." "Thank you, little swallow," said the prince. So the swallow picked out the great ruby from the prince's hoard and flew away with it in his beak, over the roof of the town. Oops.
Yeah, over the roofs of the town. Roofs?
Over the roofs of the town.
The princes.
Princes.
And then I come of a family.
I come of a family.
And this would sound way better if we said come from. It's Oscar Wilde, so it's a little bit old, but yeah, good. Any questions here? Okay, and Amp, can you read the next two parts?
He passed by the cathedral tower, where the white marble angels were sculptured. He passed by the palace and heard the sound of dancing. A beautiful girl came out of the balcony with her lover. "How wonderful the stars are," he said to her, "and how wonderful is the power of love. I hope my dress will be ready in time for the stadium hall." She answered, "I had ordered passion flowers to be embroidered on it, but the seamstresses are so lazy." He passed over the river and saw the lanterns hanging to the masts of the ships. He passed over the ghetto and saw the old men bargaining with each other and weighing out money in copper scales. At last he came to the poorhouse and looked in. The boy was tossing feverishly on his bed, and the mother had fallen asleep. She was so tired, and he hopped and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thim- thimble. Then he flew gently round the bed, fanning the boy's forehead with his wings. "How cool I feel," said the boy. "I must be getting better," and he sank into a delicious slumber.
Good. Okay. Um, let's look at hopped,
Hopped
and then feverishly. Feverishly.
feverishly,
Yeah, feverishly.
feverishly,
And weighing,
raging,
and seamstresses,
seamstresses,
and embroidered.
embroider.
Good. Okay. And questions here.
Slumber?
Thimble?
Slumber.
Slumber. It's like a sleep. A slumber. To slumber is to sleep.
Hmm.
kind of like deeply. Um, yeah. Any other questions?
Symbol?
A thimble?
Mhm.
Um, hold on one second. I don't really know how to describe it because I have no idea what it does. I just know that it's something you use for sewing. Um, this is a thimble. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do with thimbles? Like, what are thimbles for?
To
It's
protect you
yeah, to protect your fingers
from
from
Ah,
the needle.
that definitely makes sense. Okay. Okay. I've never clearly sewed. Um, so
You saw a
good.
lot.
I think nobody use that. No.
Nobody uses them?
I I have it.
Okay. Nice. So yeah, that's a thimble. Any other questions?
Um, there was another fanning. Yeah, fanning.
Okay, so if you fan something, it's like you blow. So you're pushing air. So a fan pushes air
Mm,
by spinning. Um, so if you look
mhm.
at a fan, like a fan has blades, and it like pushes air. That's the worst fan ever. But yeah, it pushes air at you. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, any other questions?
I don't understand what they are doing with money.
What they're doing with money?
Mhm.
Okay, so what the Happy Prince is, the prince is like a statue, and he's made of gold, and he has a jewels. Um, he has jewels in him, and so what he's doing is asking the bird to fly the jewels to poor people or people who are suffering. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but the old men are doing something with money, or
Ah, okay. So the old men bargaining with each other, weighing out money
yeah.
on copper scales. Um, so yeah, they're kind of like talking to try to get a good deal with stuff, like buying and selling things. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's what bargaining is. Any other questions? Okay, let's go on. Sorry, hold on one sec. Julieta, can you read the next part?
Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. "It is curious," he remarked, "but I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold." "That is because you have done a good action," said the prince, and the little swallow began to think, and then he fell asleep. Thinking always made him sleepy. When day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. "What a remarkable phenomenon," said the professor of ornithology, and he was passing over the bridge. "A swallow in winter," and he wrote a long letter about it to the local newspaper. Every one quoted it. Was full of so many words that they could not understand. "Tonight I go to Egypt," said the swallow, and he was in high spirits to this prospect. He visited all the public monuments, and sat a long time on top of the church steeple. Wherever he went, the sparrows chirruped, and said to each other, "What a distinguished stranger!" So he enjoyed himself very much. When the
Yeah,
moon
read the last
rose,
sentence.
when the moon rose, he flew back to the prince. "Have you any commission for Egypt?" he cried. "I'm just starting."
Okay, nice. And Okay, so ornithology is a branch of science that deals with the study of birds, and this is almost never used. So he's just a professor of birds. And again, we've got a joke about, people liking to quote things that they don't understand. Yeah, does anybody have any questions, other questions on here?
Steeply.
Okay, a steeple is like the tall part of a church. So if you've got maybe a church and you've got I don't know, so this is like the main building, and then in the front of the building you've got like a really tall steeple. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's like the clock tower.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, any other questions? Okay. Amp, can you read the next part?
Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the princess. Will you not stay with me one night longer? I am waiting for in Egypt, answered the swallow. Tomorrow my friends will fly up to the second cataract. The river horse couches there among the bulrushes, and on a great granite throne sits the god Menon. All night long he watched the stars, and when the morning star shines, he utters one cry of joy, and then he is silent. At noon the yellow lions come down to the water's edge to drink. They have eyes like green beryls, and their roar is louder than the roar of the cataract. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Far away across the city, I see a young man in a garret. He's leaning over a desk covered with papers, and in a tumbler by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. His hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red as a pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He's trying to finish a play for the director of the theater, but he's too old to write anymore. There is no fire in the grate, and hunger has made him faint.
Nice, that sounded good. It is a little bit difficult to hear you. If there's any way that you could speak up or raise the volume, that'd help. It's just getting noisy here. It's kind of full for lunch. But sorry. Anyways, that sounded good. Questions here. No questions. The barrels. The bulrushes. Barrels. Oh, it's a type of jewel. So it's like a gem.
Okay. And bulrushes?
A bulrush is like a type of, I don't know, like it's a type of grass. Bulrushes. Yeah, just a type of grass, I believe. Hold on one second. Yeah, so it's a type of grass. Yeah, just a type of grass that grows by the riverside. Any other questions?
The river horse couches?
The river horse couches there. So it's like a type of animal, and it sleeps along the bulrushes. Yeah. I would say the river horse is probably a hippopotamus, and it couches there, just like sits there.
Okay.
Alright. He's just being kind of poetic about Egypt. Yeah, I think that's it. And I think we're with Amp again. Amp, can you read the next part? Sorry, Julieta.
Julieta.
Can you read the next part, Julieta?
I will wait with you one night longer, said the swallow. who really had a good heart. "Shall I take him another ruby?" "Alas! I have no ruby now," said the Prince. "My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. Pluck out one of them and take it to him. He will sell it to the jeweler, and buy food and firewood, and finish his play." "Dear Prince," said the Swallow, "I cannot do that." And he began to weep. "Swallow, swallow, little Swallow," said the Prince, "do as I command you." So the Swallow plucked out the Prince's eye, and flew away to the student's garret. It was easy enough to get in, and there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings, and when he looked up he found a beautiful woo-hoo, beautiful
Beautiful.
Mhm. Teacher, teacher, guys.
Yeah, it seems like
Mm.
he's unable to
Okay,
hear. No.
okay. No. Um, mm, that's not good. I can't hear you.
Me neither.
No.
Maybe I am going to try to go out.
Right. You are right,
Yeah,
actually. Like the last time.
yeah, it works. Like when you were the only
Yeah.
student, I was able to hear. Are you there? Can you hear it? Yeah, but we cannot hear you. We are going to try to go out and then be back here, like the last time. Try to.
you guys
I can hear you
now?
now.
Oh,
Can't
nice.
believe it.
Alright, well, let's keep going a little bit. So I think it was you, Julieta. You were with a lass.
Yes. Are you here, teacher? No? Hmm. So do you want me to read from where? Or, um,
Can you read from a lass?
okay. Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphire, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. Pluck out one of them and take it to him. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy food and firewood and finish his play. Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that, and he began to weep. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the student's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through this he darted and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings, and when he looked up he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets.
Okay, good. Sapphire. Sapphire.
Oh man, sapphire.
Good.
Okay,
Berry.
buried.
Do as I command you. Command.
Command you.
Jeweler.
Jeweler.
Sapphires. Oh, you already got that. So good. Uh,
Sapphires.
yeah, questions here. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, Amp, can you read the next part?
I'm beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. The next day the swallow flew down to the harbor. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors hauling big chests out of the hold with ropes. Ahoy! They shouted as each chest came up. I'm going to Egypt, cried the swallow. But nobody minded, and when the moon rose he flew back to the happy prince. I am come to bid you good-bye, he cried. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Will you not stay with me one night longer? It is winter, answered the swallow, and the chill snow will soon be here. In Egypt the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them. My companions are building a nest in the temple of Baalbek, and the pink and white dove are watching them and cooing to each other. Dear Prince, I must leave you, but I will never forget you, and next spring I will bring you back two beautiful jewels in place of those you have given away. The ruby shall be redder than a red rose, and the sapphire shall be as blue as the great sea.
And the sapphire. Sapphire.
The sapphire,
Good. Sapphire. And I think that
fire,
sounded really good. Questions? Oh, hauling. Hauling.
hauling,
And heave ahoy. Heave ahoy.
heave ahoy. What is that?
Yeah. It's like heave up. It's just what men say when they're working. I don't know. It's kind of like a I really don't know how to explain it. No meaning,
Okay.
saying
Just
something.
an expression. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Julieta, can you read the next part?
Hmm, okay. In the square below, said the happy prince, there stands a little match girl. She had left she had let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money, and she's crying. She has no shoes or stockings, and her little head is bare. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow, but I cannot pluck out your eye. You would be quite blind then. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted down with it. He swooped past the match girl, and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. "What a lovely bit of glass!" cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. "You are blind now," he said, "so I will stay with you always."
Good. Okay, and that sounded great, really. Do you have any questions here? Okay, we are just about out of time. I'm gonna get you the Happy Prince story, um, so you can finish it. It's interesting. It's not his best story, but it's a cool one. It's funny, and obviously sad. But it's yeah. So that's it. Thank you guys for coming in. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Sorry about the noise. Like I said, it just got a little bit loud right at lunch.
No worries. Take care.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you
Bye.
so
Bye,
much.
Alright.
guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.